We will now continue and talk a little bit more about the HX perspective of what we're doing and what we are offering. We initiated our activities a number of years ago. We are fully committed to this program. We supported the early fact-finding activities of the Finnish Air Force. And right now we are conducting the flight evaluations here at Pirkkala Air Base. We're about to hand in our response to the updated request for quotation that we have been working with during this autumn. And what I think is important to note here is how complex these type of programs are and how important it is to have a good dialogue between ourselves as a potential candidate in this and also the Finnish Defence Forces. And I think that is a very good example, the setup we see here, where we have a lot of dialogue, workshops, negotiation rounds to make sure that we understand each other from all angles and perspectives. Not only Saab as an industry is part of this, we cooperate closely together also with the Swedish Defence Material Administration as well as the Swedish Air Force because of all the broader aspects when it comes to bilateral cooperation, Air Force to Air Force cooperation. So this is also part of the overall HX context. The Gripen, the latest version, the Echo Foxtrot, is truly, as we see it, the latest available fighter aircraft type on the market. It is designed to handle the toughest threat situations, threat scenarios, and adversaries with a very high level of technology. It is a true multi-role platform from the beginning, not only Gripen Echo Foxtrot. Gripen and the whole family of aircraft from the Alpha Bravo, Charlie Delta are built to be multi-role, to be able to support an Air Force broad needs and serve a number of different mission types. We have the most recent technology on board this system. I will talk a little bit more about how we have designed the avionics, especially to make sure that it is future-proof. Whatever type of aircraft we decide right now, no matter how perfect it is, we know that the situation and the threats will evolve over time, and our system needs to follow that. We truly believe that with Gripen, we have a good possibility to bring a lot of operational capability for the budget set and to maximize what the Finnish Defence Forces will get out of the investment they are doing in the HX program. This is the way it looks like in the Gripen cockpit. It is a very modern human-machine type of environment where the information is presented to the pilot. On the right side here, you can see the wide area display that is reconfigurable and can show information in a very intuitive way. We have paid a lot of attention to make sure that the machine, the technology, the computers are working in a seamless and good way together with the pilot on board. Because it does not matter how much technology and functions you pour into a fighter system if you cannot convey that information in a smart way for quick decisions to do the right things in the battle. We also have helmet-mounted display systems, and the most important thing and the big step we've taken with Echo Foxtrot is that no longer the pilot is controlling each sensor individually. In Gripen, the pilot is defining a volume of interest. It may be a box in the air or a square on the ground where he or she would like to see exactly what's happening. And then the overall sensor control system will optimize the use of the available sensors on board. as well as fuse it with data coming from data links, and show an overall aggregated picture. And here you can see that at the same time, Gripen can handle a large number of such volumes of interest at the same time. And this reduces the workload to handle all the sensors for the pilot, so that the pilot can focus on the tactical mission, the key task the pilot has to sort out. As far as we know, this is unique with Gripen Echo and Foxtrot, and we think it will bring a lot of operational value. The whole idea behind is to make sure that when the pilot is working through this wheel of first observing what is happening around, then making sure to orient what does this mean to me. There is a lot of support from the decision support system within Gripen to tell what are the dangerous areas, where should you fly, suggestions on how to do in certain situations. And this will enable quick decision making and action. And the faster we can spin this wheel, the better we will be able to handle the mission we're out for. On top of knowing where we are and utilizing the sensors in the smartest way, we need weapons, either for deterrence or a tangible effect in a target. Gripen is built with a lot of flexibility when it comes to weapons. We have been doing weapons integration for many years, and the approach we've taken is to pick the best weapon system from the best supplier worldwide. So we have a long heritage. We do weapons integration in a short period of time, in a cost-efficient way, and this provides us the unique possibility of offering a weapons package with a number of the leading weapons that are available today. Then obviously we would like our pilots to get back home alive. We would like to be able to use the aircraft many times, and the electronic warfare system on board, that is the system with all the sensors and countermeasure systems to increase the survivability. We do feel we are one of the world-leading companies within electronic warfare system, and this is part of Anders is part of the organization we just heard more about. Gripen has a 360-degree spherical coverage of a number of different sensors, radar warning receivers, missile approach warners, and advanced internal jamming capabilities, as well as chaff and flares dispensing systems, so that we can fool incoming missiles to go after a hot flare somewhere, or other things that we drop out of the aircraft, so that we are not hit by either a radar-seeking missile or an infrared guided type. This area where we are front runners, I'd say, probably we offer the most advanced electronic warfare system available on the market. To have something similar, you would need to go for very specialized electronic warfare system platforms. Nowadays, however, it is not only for self-protection you will use electronic warfare. There are a number of situations where you would like to actively use this capability to disturb the possibility of the adversary to use the advanced sensors of ground-based air defense systems, for instance. Often we refer to as electronic attack, to jam these opposing sensors. Gripen Echo Foxtrot has electronic attack capabilities built in the onboard electronic warfare system. On top of that, we can also complement the system with additional decoy systems and jammers when and if we see a need to further broaden the frequency range or the jamming effect. And here you can see on the slide up to the right the latest version, the electronic attack jammer pod, that we initiated flight test activities for in the fall, in November last year. where we are utilizing the same type of technology that we have also on the onboard system. With a two-seat Gripen Foxtrot in this example, we also show how we can use our smart human-machine interface in a way where not only one pilot, but one pilot and an operator on board can handle the most complex type of EW-related missions on board. I will not go into all the details on exactly what we are offering Finland within this arena. It is sensitive, both from a competition point of view, but also from an operator perspective. But I can say that we have a very sophisticated and powerful approach when it comes to electronic warfare in the HX program. It is important, of course, to be able to use the system in the everyday context. Gripen is designed for harsh conditions and easy maintenance, to be serviced by conscript mechanics. It is built to be used at the road bases. That is already today a concept of the Finnish Air Force. A turnaround, we heard about Colonel Keränen talking about turnarounds at road bases and the importance to have a smooth operation. With Gripen, you do a turnaround within 10 minutes time. That is, if you're doing air-to-air, you do the refueling, rearmament, and that is building sortie generation so that we can perform a lot of missions in a defined period of time with Gripen. That is building operational capability. An engine change, if that would be needed, can be done within less than 1 hour. And this, as far as we understand and know, is quite unique. Gripen is designed around all these aspects, a small logistic footprint and easy maintenance. Then over time, we know that the needs will change. There will be new threat systems, opposing aircraft types, or new ground-based air defense systems that we need to handle. We need to make sure that the system can evolve over a 30-year life cycle that an aircraft often is used during. In many cases, there is one big or a couple of big leaps over the lifespan in a so-called midlife upgrade. With Gripen, from the first versions, Alpha Bravo, Charlie Delta, we've rather taken the approach to stepwise introduce new functionality and capability. And with the latest version, Echo Foxtrot, we've taken even smaller steps. And that we do thanks to a revolutionary avionics system, where we have separated the flight critical part of the software from the mission-related functions. And that means we can insert new functions and capabilities in a very quick and efficient way without having to do the full re-certification and testing of the flight critical part of the software. And this will speed up the loop of updates, and it will prevent the operator from using a big proportion of investments for future capability for this type of testing, but rather get the output of a lot of new functions and capabilities instead. This is unique, and this type of setup, this separation, was what we heard from Jonas before. All that was certified when we had the first flight of the test aircraft -8. That is a test aircraft coming from the serial production line. Of course, before that we have been flying also the -7. If we take a step from Echo Foxtrot Gripen and what that is per se, in the offering to Finland in the context of the HX program, we have included both Gripen Echo and Gripen Foxtrot aircraft in a mix. And not only aircraft are included, but also a full set of the equipment and services needed to initiate operations. Initial training as a service for all the personnel categories involved. Simulators are included for the various bases around Finland, as well as the mission and ground support equipment. We have quite a large number of drop tanks, pylons, launchers, and all this type of equipment needed for operations. There is a substantial weapon package we have defined also in order to handle the different scenarios that we heard about before, that we have been studying, evaluating, and suggesting concepts of operations for. And here, obviously, the weapons integration capability and our flexibility is supporting us. We have included a full in-service support for the first 5 years of operation to enable a smooth introduction of Gripen into Finland. Industrial participation in order to build security of supply is another large and important part of what we are suggesting, and I will come back to that a little more later on. And security of supply has been guiding us in defining the overall capabilities and offering. On top of the Gripen, we also see that with the overall capability requirements, and where each candidate is free to suggest a package that could optimize the air defense capabilities of Finland, we have decided to include the GlobalEye airborne early warning and control system. It provides a strategic asset for 24/7 airspace, land, and sea surveillance. We think it will provide a situational awareness enhancement for Finland that will work for supporting the nation's territorial integrity. And it is a substantial contribution for the operational capability, not only for the Air Force, but also for the Finnish Navy and for the ground forces of the Finnish Army that we heard about in the beginning. It provides support for all the domains, an increased coverage with regards or in relation to ground-based radars is probably the most kind of clear advantage of this type of airborne elevated sensor. And by this coverage, we will gain pre-warning time. We will know what is happening around Finland, and we can prepare in due time. Also, it offloads the fighter fleet. It will prevent us from the need of going up for combat air patrol if not needed, meaning that the fighter fleet could have the highest possible readiness and availability at the moment it would be really, really needed. And the mission time here is well above 11 hours, so it's a long endurance type of platform. The whole logic is about covering what ground-based sensors do not see. Ground-based sensors would see out to 40 kilometers, roughly. And that is and poses a trickiness when it comes to low-flying incoming hostile objects. With a sensor like the GlobalEye high up in the sky, we will be able to extend the coverage up to 10 times on low level. And that will give us another 20 minutes of pre-warning. This we see as a substantial element supporting the survivability of the whole Finnish Defence Forces. It's an impressive coverage. The instrumented range, meaning how far the sensors as such can see, is above 550 kilometers. And because of the Earth curvature, you can see out to this distance all objects coming in above 9,000 feet. At lower altitude, still we have an extreme coverage up to 450 kilometers, and this is really the gain from the GlobalEye. Here you see a picture showing that on the top of the aircraft there is our advanced radar system. We have a platform that is very suitable for this type of operations. It's easy to use, quick turnaround times, the Global 6000 family. And in the back, down left on the picture, you can see the 5 operator consoles where the operators can be working without either the command and control area or the advanced radar or EW functionality on board. The system has a very high accuracy. We see extremely small objects coming in at any speed, and often slow-moving objects can be hard to detect, but those we see with GlobalEye. It is extremely jamming resistant, and that means once we have the GlobalEye up, we will have an extremely good picture on what is happening in the air. So to summarize, it is providing a strategic asset for Finland, for all the domains, and this intelligence surveillance, target acquisition and reconnaissance capability is something that will provide this pre-warning time. It will offload the fighters for high availability when needed, and this is securing the optimal use of the assets. And then some words about what we are doing here during this week and the HX Challenge that is just starting up. We're truly happy to be here, and we are participating in the challenge activities with the GlobalEye. The GlobalEye will be airborne later this morning. You will be able to follow it on flight radar if you're interested. We have the Gripen Echo, the -10 platform, as well as we will be using our sensor development platform, the -7 we heard about before. And that is a system that we use with the full set of Gripen Echo Foxtrot functionality in the back seat, at the same time as we have a Gripen Charlie Delta type of configuration for the flight critical part. And this has been a very good way of being able to test out functionality in a quick way in the program. So there are 3 aircraft that will participate, and today here, after this briefing and the question and answer session, we will be able to go out on the apron and take pictures of and see the Echo. And we will also have our head of Flight Test Center, Mikael Olsson, will talk a little bit more about Gripen from a pilot's perspective. Also, as we heard this morning, the challenge week is about data substantiation. So our target is to meet the expectations of the Finnish Air Force, to collect the data needed so that we can substantiate the information we have submitted and are submitting in our discussions with the customer, as well as the revised RFQ response. The plan we had that we informed some of you, I think, about before, was that we would see a takeoff of the Gripen Echo. It was planned to do one of the sorties out of the HX Challenge sorties that we are doing this week. Due to the bad weather conditions, we have decided not to conduct that flight as planned at lunchtime today. And the simple reason is the weather conditions. And we need to optimize the flights we are doing during this quite intensive week of tests. Even though we are extremely happy, all of you are here, the overall aim is to support the Finnish Air Force in the tests and evaluation. We did not have the right, how shall I say, situations. We did not have the right conditions to perform what we wanted to perform during that sortie. We're sorry for that. We would have liked to offer you that possibility, but you will see the aircraft outside. Then we have, aside the Gripen and GlobalEye as such, we paid a lot of attention in the HX program to go through what it would mean to integrate and get these systems into service in Finland. We've conducted thorough site service, and we come to the conclusion that it's a very smooth integration effort needed. We can use the existing maintenance facilities with very small minor adaptations. We can use the existing road bases, and because of the short takeoff and landing capabilities of Gripen, the Finnish Defence Forces can even easily introduce new such airfields if needed, without or with quite small burden. And the noise levels and other environmental conditions, we feel that what we are suggesting to be introduced in Finland does not pose a big modification or adaptation work. And the systems, both GlobalEye and Gripen, are fully NATO interoperable, and we have gone through all the details when it comes to the command and control infrastructure here in Finland, data link systems, to understand the interfaces. And we see that this will be a fairly easy task to make sure that this will work together. We heard about security of supply. I sometimes say that it's a little bit of a religion here in Finland that we are truly happy to support. It is about to make sure that the capabilities are being established in country, the capabilities needed to operate, maintain, and also to some extent further adapt the system over the complete life cycle. And the two main targets we have when it comes to security of supply, that is to work for high availability of the fleet. The other one is to make sure that the operational relevance is kept at a high level over time. The first we do mainly by setting up a thorough support solution with maintenance, repair and overhaul capability built up. The second part, we suggest to establish a system center. We heard a similar setup we have for the Squadron 2020, the C2 part of that. And this is about establishing capabilities in country for the sustainment support, as well as for the possibility of further development and adaptations. We work closely together with Finnish industry and the strategic partners of the Finnish Defence Forces, where Patria and Insta are the biggest actors and players. And this is the whole, meaning security of supply. That is the whole background for industrial participation. And it is for the availability and for the operational relevance. On the first part, we are doing a lot of education and on-the-job training, where we involve the Finnish industry in the production and delivery activities of Gripen and GlobalEye. We also suggest quite a substantial package for parts production in Finland, as well as final assembly of aircraft and engines. And we do this because we see that it builds capabilities that are needed or serving very well for the long-term operation and support. We also use and work closely with Finnish industry in the support that we are conducting during the first 5 years, 2025 to 2030. And this makes sure that over this period of time, when we are doing the deliveries, the Finnish industry and local parties will be up and running, and we will have made sure that the capability has been fully established. For the operational relevance over time, we have participation from Finnish industry in some of the adaptation work we do for Finnish specific functions. We also work closely together with industry for the integration into the command and control systems in Finland. And the system center I talked about, we set it up and we operate it together with the Finnish industry, as well as, and that is the whole idea with the center, that it would be a setup where industry would work closely together with the Finnish defense forces organizations. It is about joining capabilities and joining the different organizations in an efficient way for the long-term sustainment and support. There is a need or requirement for 30% industrial participation. We feel we have a very good possibility to meet those expectations. And our main focus is within the direct industrial participation, meaning that the programs that we are and projects that we are proposing are clearly and closely linked to the military capability of the HX system. We also have a number of projects within the indirect arena to support the broader needs for sustaining the high capability in technology relevant areas for the Finnish Defence Forces. In the beginning, I said that this is a big and important program for Finland. It is at the same time a big investment. The Finnish Defence Forces has taken a design to cost approach, and we have of course set up and defined a package within this frame of the 10 billion that we heard about, including of course the deduction for internal cost also that the Finnish Defence Forces will have for certain adaptations and their own cost to introduce the system. Also, there is a design to cost when it comes to operation and sustainment. We've looked heavily into this, and we think that here we have an area where we are quite unique. Gripen is designed as a very cost-efficient platform, and this is one of the drivers for us, or one of the explanations for which we are able to suggest in this frame of the HX program, as well to introduce an airborne early warning and control system to Finland. If it wouldn't have been for the cost efficiency, we wouldn't have had that possibility. So we have set up something that will still be for the cost of operation and sustainment in the same level as of today, as stated and requested. And we have a lot of dialogue together with the customer so that we go through all the aspects and the customer can evaluate this thoroughly. And we shall not forget that over time, the design of the systems, both Gripen and GlobalEye, they are designed in a modular approach so that we will be able to introduce new capabilities over time without a big cost burden. So the last slide before we enter into the question session here, I'd like to point out the logic we see for Gripen and GlobalEye to Finland. First of all, Gripen is designed for the task, the type of threat systems we see, designed for the everyday operation, road bases, conscript mechanics. GlobalEye is a very strong force multiplier to Gripen. We know and feel confident that nobody beats us on cost efficiency, and that is one of the design criteria, so to speak, for the offering, given this design to cost approach. We offer an extensive security of supply package in close collaboration with the Finnish industry. And not only we have the toolbox, we have long experience of how we do this, and I think we have shown a lot of good examples, for instance in Brazil during the recent years. We think the timing is perfect. Gripen is a proven and mature platform and system. With Echo Foxtrot, the latest version, we bring the latest available technology to Finland. We heard that GlobalEye, being the latest and most advanced airborne early warning and control system available on the market today, that is nothing that we started with yesterday. We have a 25-year experience within the development of airborne early warning and control systems. And then as a company, we have a long-term commitment for Finland. As Jonas mentioned, we're here since the 1940s. We will stay for many more years. Only the Squadron 2020 is bringing up here to stay up until 2060 at least. And also in a broader perspective, given the clear mindset on a political level, both in Finland and Sweden, for the deepened defense cooperation, we think that that is an excellent basis for this type of long-term program a defense or a fighter aircraft acquisition is about. So this is the logic we see, and we hope that many more will see it with us. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our briefing here this morning, and we're happy to take your questions. And